It took him 3 tries to forge the greatest weapon ever made. The first time, he tempered the blade in water. It broke. The second time, he drove it through the heart of a lion. It shattered. The third time, he called for his wife. He told her he loved her more than anything in the world. Then he drove the sword through her heart. Her cries split the moon. Her blood and soul and courage went into the steel, and the blade caught fire. That sword ended the long night. It saved the world from darkness. And now, thousands of years later, a red priestess on the shore of Dragonstone says the time has come to forge it again. She hands a glowing sword to a king and calls it Lightbringer. But a blind old maester at the wall asks one question. Did you feel any heat? The answer is no. So what is Lightbringer? Welcome to Westeros Within, where we journey into forgotten ages, hidden legends, and ancient mysteries. The full story of Lightbringer comes from a single telling. The pirate Saladhor San recounts it to Davos Seaworth aboard a ship at anchor, and his version is the most complete in any text. Azor Ahai was a hero who lived during the long night, the generation-long winter when the others came with swords of ice and armies of the dead. The sun did not rise. The world was dying, and Azor Ahai labored at the sacred fires of a temple to forge a weapon that could fight the darkness. 30 days for the first blade, 50 for the second, 100 for the third. Each failure cost more than the last. Water, a lion, and finally, the woman he loved most. When he plunged the smoking blade through Nissa's living heart, something happened that had never happened before. Her blood, her soul, her strength, her courage, all of it went into the steel. The sword became alive with fire, not a glow, not a trick of light, living flame. That is what Lightbringer is supposed to be. A blade that burns with genuine heat. A weapon that radiates warmth the way a person does. And that is exactly why the sword on Dragonstone is wrong. Stannis Baratheon draws his Lightbringer from a burning pyre of the old gods. Melisandre orchestrates the ceremony outside the gates of Dragonstone. The wooden statues of the Seven are set ablaze, and Stannis reaches into the flames with a gloved hand and pulls a sword free. It glows beautifully. Yellow, red, and orange, like sunshine on water. A ruby gleams in the hilt, but Stannis does not seem awed. He carries the blade back inside and leaves it in the sand for his squires to collect. Even the man holding the sword treats it like theater. And then there is Maester Aemon, blind, ancient, a Targaryen who spent his life studying prophecy. He asks Samwell Tarly to describe the sword, listens carefully, and then asks the only question that matters. Did it give off heat? Sam admits it did not. Aemon's verdict is quiet and devastating. Light without heat. An empty glamour. The sword is wrong. And if the sword is wrong, then either the prophecy has not been fulfilled, or it never meant what anyone thought it did. There is strong reason to believe Stannis' sword is not merely inadequate. It may be a deliberate illusion. Melisandre works her most powerful magic through rubies. Her choker pulses with red fire. She uses a ruby to disguise Mance Rayder as another man entirely. Rubies are the medium through which she bends light, appearance, and perception. Stannis' sword has a ruby set into its hilt, and the sword he drew from the flames was not the same sword placed in them. Wildfire burned in that pyre. The original ceremonial blade was consumed. What Stannis received afterward was something Melisandre had prepared. She believes her own words. She serves Rhaegar with genuine conviction, but she also understands something practical about power. Trappings matter. A king who carries a glowing sword commands more faith than one who does not. The real question is whether Melisandre knows her Lightbringer is false, or whether she has convinced herself it is close enough. And this is where the legend begins to fracture. Because across the narrow sea, something happened that fits the forging story far more closely than anything on Dragonstone. Daenerys Targaryen walked into a funeral pyre. She loved Khal Drogo. He died. His body burned. And from that fire came 3 living dragons, born from eggs that the world believed had turned to stone. 3 cracks split the night as the eggs broke open. Nysa's cry, the legend says, left a crack across the face of the moon. 3 cracks. 3 dragons. Fire made flesh. If Lightbringer is not a blade but a weapon of living fire, then the dragons are the closest thing the world has seen in thousands of years. And that possibility unsettles the entire prophecy, because it means Lightbringer was never a thing you swing. It was a thing you birth, a thing you lose everything to bring into the world. But there is one more thread. In the far south of Westeros, in a castle called Starfall, House Dane guards an ancient blade called Dawn. It was forged from the heart of a fallen star, pale as milk glass, alive with light. Its bearer carries a title that has endured for thousands of years: the Sword of the Morning, the light that brings the dawn. That phrase appears in one other place. The Night's Watch Oath. I am the fire that burns against the cold, the light that brings the dawn. Lightbringer. The words are the same. Dawn is older than Valyrian steel. Older, perhaps, than memory. If the legends of the Long Night describe a weapon of star-forged steel that drove back the darkness, Dawn has been sitting in Starfall for millennia, waiting for someone to ask the right question. Not where is Lightbringer, but what if it never left? That may be the deepest truth about Lightbringer. Everyone in this story is searching for the same thing: a weapon that ends the darkness, a sword pulled from fire, a sign that salvation is real and the prophecy is true. But prophecy, as every careful reader of this world has learned, is treacherous. It answers the question you did not ask. It fulfills itself in ways no one expected. And by the time you recognize what it meant, the cost has already been paid. Maester Aemon, the wisest man at the Wall, spent his final days insisting the sword was wrong. He died still searching, but he also said something else, something quieter. He realized the word for prince in the original prophecy was never gendered at all. The hero could be a woman. The weapon could be something no one recognized as a weapon. The prophecy promises that Lightbringer will return, that a burning sword will drive back the night. But what if it already has, and the people waiting for a blade of fire are looking at the wrong thing entirely? If you want more secrets uncovered from the world of Westeros, subscribe and stay with us. And tell me in the comments, do you think Lightbringer is a sword, a dragon, a person, or something no one has guessed yet? Westeros Within. The stories they never told you.